the year the UN was founded and rebuilt its identity amid division and war, with UN support achieved rapid industrialization and blossomed into a vibrant democracy. In this sense, Korea itself a living proof of the UN's value and purpose. And President Lee went on to declare that a new Korea has now fully returned to the global stage as a beacon of democracy and shared prosperity. And he also pledged that as a country that grew with the UN's support, Korea will actively share its own hard-won experience of democratic renewal with the world. And also as a subtle but meaningful decision, Lee has moved to halt anti-North Korean propaganda leaflets and loudspeaker broadcast, signaling a softer tone toward Pyongyang as part of trust building. So wearing a taegukgi badge, President Lee spoke for about 20 minutes, and during his speech, he mentioned Korea 33 times, peace 25, democracy 12 times, a clear indication of the values he wanted to emphasize on the world stage.
I mean, he's a good speaker. I mean, he might not have like a very nice roaring voice, but he's a very good speaker. Like you could see the charisma on stage.
Right.
It's very different. Like former President Yoon, like you could sometimes see him like very lost on stage and things like that.
And he never seems nervous.
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's
Right.
used to this. Like he's really used to this. He's a real talker. Let's talk about the markets now. Mind you, since the E presidency, the Korean Stock Exchange has been.
Right.
It's been doing so well right now. My kids are I'm happy, but my kids are super happy. Their stock portfolio is doing very well.
If your kids are rich, you're rich.
No, they're just rich. I'm getting nothing out of that. What happened at the New York Stock Exchange?
Well, President Lee accepted an invitation to ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, a high visibility symbolic gesture. More notably, he hosted the Korea Investment Summit right there on Wall Street, promoting Korea's innovation sectors and investment environment. And it's the first time a Korean head of state has done so at NYSE in such a direct way. And at the event, Lee pledged to remove barriers to foreign investment in Korea and promised a more open, welcoming regulatory regime. And another major announcement, Lee said the Korean government plans to open its currency market for 24-hour trading to make it more accessible to international investors. And he also addressed concerns about the Korea won being labeled a currency manipulator. He secured confirmation from the U.S. that Korea is not to be designated as such. And this sequence of financial and regulatory pledges sends a strong signal. Korea is competing for capital, not just attention.
So the goal right now, I think the Prime Minister, Kim In-suk, had said it, or I forgot who said it. The goal is for the Kospi to hit 5,000.
5,000, yes.
Because you have to understand, for an economy like South Korea,
it's very undervalued.
Oh, it's very undervalued
Due to geopolitical issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Because
Korea discount, they say.
Yeah. So basically, international investors, foreign investors, make up the huge chunk of investors here in the Korean Stock Exchange, right? But they're always concerned about the division.
Right.
And if there is going to be a war that happens, well, we're still technically at war, but if something happens, then, the stock exchange just blows up. They're always afraid of that. 5,000, not even 5,000 for Kospi is ridiculous.
Right.
Which is why it's very undervalued, and people are going, all right, we'll risk the idea that probably not going to be a war. We're going to start investing.
Right.
Invest in Korea, guys. Invest Korea.
Invest Korea. Invest now.
Invest now. Apart from speeches and markets, what did President Lee do diplomatically in New York?
Well, he held bilateral meetings with global leaders and investors on the sidelines of the UN. And Lee has also voiced concerns that U.S. tariff demands tied to Korea's $350 billion proposed investment package could destabilize Korea's economy unless safeguards are in place like currency swaps. And he warned that meeting U.S. demands blindly could plunge Korea into a crisis akin to the 1997 Asian financial meltdown. And on a strategic note, foreign policy direction is being watched closely by neighboring powers. Some analysts see potential shifts, balancing relations with China, restructuring alliance, emphasizing pragmatism over ideological alignment.
And do tell us how have the media and international analyst responded to all of this?
Well, Reuters described Yi's UN speech as vowing to reduce unnecessary military tensions and calling for a phased approach. Kim Jong-un unsurprisingly rejected phased denuclearization plans and criticized Seoul's motives, though left open some possibility of talks if U.S. demands were eased. And other foreign press highlighted the boldness of coupling diplomacy with financial diplomacy like NYSE visit, investment pledges. Many saw it as a signaling Korea's return to a more assertive global posture.
It's good stuff, guys.
Right.
It's such a different sort of feeling. It's sort of a very different atmosphere right now here in the country compared to last year. And I mean, we really need to, again, we still need to rebound a bit. I think we still need to earn the trust of many other countries out there. And a lot has happened during the 2.5 years during the Yoon administration.
Pragmatic middle power rather than just ideologically flips.
And soon enough, world power.
World power.
James, Culture Inc.'s new slogan, Invest Korea. Actually, we can't because Invest Korea is actually a company.
Invest now. How about that?
Invest now. It should have been like Korea Now's slogan. We'll continue to talk about other major issues at hand here with Seong joining us. But first, this is Mamamoo with New York. Mamamoo with New York.
Do you miss New York sometimes? No, not at all?
You know, I came... It's been 16 years since I came to Korea. Not once have I gone to New York. You know, my brother got married the other weekend. Didn't go to New York.
And that was because you don't really like your brother.
No, it's not that I don't like my brother. It's just, number one, he wasn't
You don't
gonna...
love him that much, right?
No. That might be
Just
true
kidding.
because he didn't offer tickets, and I have my daughter's too young.
Right.
Can't leave my wife alone with
I
the two
know.
kids, and then it would have been hell because, Aaron had type A influenza.
Right.
And so, imagine, I'm gone, everybody's gone. It would have been mad. But he got the best present. I wasn't there.
What did you give him?
$1,000 and me not being there.
Wow.
That's best.
As a 축의금?
Yes.
That's best.
Money and not being there.
Sending money.
Exactly.
That's the best.
That's brotherly love right there. That's brotherly love. By the way, John thinks one of my best friend in Arirang is Ki Kim.
Oh.
Me and Ki have never hung out.
Really?
So
And that's because you don't like him that much?
No, it's not that. It's just we never hung out.
Yeah,
so.
you two are so busy, too busy.
Yeah. That's
Awkward. Sorry. I was just joking. You know that, right?
It's like
I was
Seong
just
doesn't want to come
joking.
for the new season or something. We turn to a serious crisis. Back to straight face once again. Korea's digital backbone, the fire at the National Information Resource Service over in Daejeon. The fires halted dozens of government systems, exposed fragility in Korea's dependence on centralized digital infrastructure. If you remember last time, the database fire shut down Kakao.
Yeah.
And that just completely paralyzed the country for a bit there. Walk us through what exactly happened, though.
Well, on the evening of September 26th, that's this past Friday, a fire broke out in the 5th floor data center of the National Information Resources Service's Daejeon Center, which houses critical government server and networking infrastructure. And firefighting efforts continued through the night and into the next day, more than 10 hours of active suppression because the blaze originated from a UPS battery unit and spread within the enclosed space. And authorities say that during a maintenance operation, a lithium-ion battery was being moved. Wires detached and a spark or thermal runaway triggered ignition. And more than 160 personnel and around 60 units of equipment responded. And unfortunately, because the facility is central to many government systems, the fire immediately impacted a wide range of public services. The government quickly elevated the crisis alert to critical and activated the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasures headquarters.
No, this sounds pretty severe right now. What's been the scale of disruption so far, though?
Very significant. As of Tuesday, only 87 of 647 affected systems were back online. a recovery rate of just over 13%. And this includes services tied to resident registration, taxation, civil complaints, digital IDs, social welfare systems, and more. In response, the government has prioritized restoring systems used by many citizens, for example, Government 24, postal and financial services, the post offices, mobile ID services, health data systems, and budget and accounting platforms. The government is, yes, but the 96 systems, those directly impacted by fire damage in the fifth floor that are moved to secondary center in Daegu for recovery, they say it could take almost a month to recover.
Jeez.
And local governments such as in Seoul's Yangcheon-gu district have convened emergency meetings to mitigate citizen inconvenience, extend deadlines, and shift to manual processing. And also the patent office activated an emergency response mode. Although its systems are hosted at the Gwangju Center, not directly affected, some services experience disruption, and they are allowing in-person submissions and extending deadlines.
Yeah, so like even with, some people use the post office bank.
Right.
And that's government. And so there's been some disruptions with that. And so people are having a hard time using the online banking if you use the postal.
That's right.
And a lot of like the older people use that.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like if you like we don't use it. Like it's for some reason like old people like to use it because it gives you like very good returns.
Right.
But yeah, it's still not working right now. But what's more frustrating is that this isn't again the first time that a major government IT failure has hit Korea. Seon, tell us about a similar incident that occurred in the past.
Well, in 2014, a fire at the government integrated data center disrupted national systems and exposed a systemic risk in how the government runs centralized computing. More recently, in the private sector, like you said, a data center fire at Kakao around 3 years ago showed that even big tech firms face a similar risk when backup systems are insufficient. And in this current event, unfortunately, it revealed that Korea's infrastructure lacked adequate, active failover systems, backup systems. And interestingly, nearly 3 years ago, officials claimed that the Daejeon Center could recover within 3 hours, even in the event of total loss. But this fire has shown that such a guarantee was more aspirational than real. And further, despite warnings a year ago, private firms reportedly recommended replacing aging battery units in the facility, but the government postponed actions for some reason. And also, the architecture of the Daejeon facility itself was flagged as fire vulnerable and rented, not custom built, with its lease nearing expiration. Yet no relocation or structural overhaul was implemented. So this incident reflects not just chance mishap, but structural neglect of resilience and backup planning in digital governance.
No, if it happened before, why not make the changes before it happens again, right? I mean, I just don't understand. And you have to understand, like, because everything...
There were many signals.
No, there were. And we kind of saw that with, again, the Kakao incident, right, with the fire. I mean, goodness, even with Kakao, the country was paralyzed.
Yes.
Kakao.
Because
message.
So many other apps are related to Kakao.
Yeah. So what happened? I still remember. I still remember that day because it was Lena's wedding day, and everybody went. And then her wedding was in like the middle of nowhere, like what is it, Seongbuk-dong? You know where rich people get married.
Private place.
No, it was like a
very
museum.
Private place.
It was at a museum. And it was like surrounded by woods and stuff like that. And the only way back is if you get a cab or if you have a car. A lot of us brought our car. And then Lena had a post-party afterwards. And then they're like, oh, Esther, you got to stay. And I was like, no, I got to drive back home. And they're like, oh, party pooper, blah, 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 blah. And then I texted, I texted them and it didn't go through. But they couldn't get the teddy.
Oh.
All the people with the cars. They couldn't get the cabs. So I heard it was like crazy.
Wow.
So they ended up just having to call.
So they had to walk home?
No, they called the teddy. Because everything is now, we do it through the Kakao.
More like conventional way,
yeah, the more
right?
conventional way. So they're like, oh, well, we did actually end up getting home, through calling. But still, though.
Yes, I remember that.
Seon, given all this, what's the broader significance for Korea socially, politically, and technologically?
Well, it's no exaggeration to say this has reached the level of a national digital disaster in a society highly dependent on online systems. When those go down, daily life grinds to a halt. And this fire exposes how fragile the the centralization of critical infrastructure can be. And when one node fails, the entire system just collapses. And the incident has reignited calls for stronger backup, geographical decentralization, and improved disaster recovery protocols in government IT systems.
We should all just go back to paper.
Paper,
And
handwritten.
files. No, that's terrible. Japan's like that.
Yes.
Japan's still like that, and it's
They
so
want to
slow.
keep the traditions.
Yeah. So this is faster. Obviously, everything is
Right.
in the system. It's fast, but the
So
thing
some
is,
officers are using handwritten documents these days.
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
Korea,
yeah.
because of this incident.
yeah, absolutely. So just in case, if we're gonna be all connected through this data system and all that stuff, well, maybe make better infrastructures, right?
Right.
Learn
It's
from
a
our
wake-up
mistakes
call.
again. Let's take a listen to a song from NCT 127 with Fire Truck, 소방차. That was NCT 127 with Fire Truck, 소방차. John says, I can see the club going nuts to this song. I don't know. People going, Fire Truck! Fire truck. That's not, I don't know. It's not something you would scream.
That's not how young people scream
No.
these days.
How are you supposed to do it, Taeyang?
Fire truck.
Really not, doesn't sound that much younger than I am.
Sorry.
Make it sound like she's much younger than I am. Let's talk about something cool here. Something cultural. Controversial in different ways, depending on how you see it. After more than 3 decades, the National Assembly has passed a law legalizing tattooing.
Finally.
This is being called a landmark decision. Now, it's weird because in most countries, I mean, it's legal. Korea, you might be like, wait a minute, tattoos illegal? Everybody's got tattoos. Does that mean SJ's body's illegal?
Illegal.
No, it's a wonderland. My body's a wonder. Let's talk about this.
I wonder how our listeners will react to this topic.
Your body's okay. The tattoos.
Tattoos.
Oh,
yeah. Not your body. Man. You okay?
I thought you meant.
Are you exhausted?
No.
So it's a big news here because until now, tattooing in Korea was technically classified as a medical act.
Yes.
So a 1992 Supreme Court ruling stated that because tattooing pierces the skin, only licensed doctors could legally perform it. And that meant everyone else, from body art specialists to eyebrow tattoo artists, were in the eyes of the law operating illegally.
Even getting like piercings then, right?
Yeah.
Because the cool. Okay, so I didn't know this until later on, but when I first got my ear piercing. I got it at like some Chinese mall in Flushing, New York.
Oh.
For like $5.
Was it legal?
No, it's legal.
legal.
Of course, it's legal in America. But in college, I was asking, where do I get my ear piercing? Because I had many ear piercings. They're like, go to the tattoo shop.
Oh.
And they're like, tattoo shop. They're like, yes, technically, if you want to get it safe,
Yes.
you should get it at a tattoo place. So now piercings.
That makes sense.
Piercings and tattoos are kind of like at the same level.
Right.
And so now that's also should be in the medical thing. But all of this sounds really out of sync with reality, though.
Yeah, tattoo have long carried a stigma in Korea, but things have been changing. Cosmetic tattoos like eyebrow, microblading, or eyeliner tattoos are now incredibly popular, even among middle-aged and older Koreans. And one tattoo artist once joked that even male politicians had their eyebrows tattooed. So why was the law still treating it as something forbidden? And that highlights just how outdated the system was.
Antersu.
Yes.
He had-
홍준표, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So what exactly has changed with this new law?
Earlier this month, the National Assembly passed what's being called the Tattoo
Practitioners Act. Okay.
Practitioners
Okay.
Act. For the first time in 33 years, tattooing is now recognized as a legitimate profession. So artists can legally operate if they meet certain qualification standards and hygiene requirements.
Good.
So tattoo shops will no longer be hidden or clandestine businesses. Instead, they will be regulated much like hair salons or nail parlors with clear training, licensing, and health oversight.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, you can't have everybody be tattoo artists, right? Because then you're going to get all those like no regret tattoos and stuff like that. But if you have a license, tattoo license, and you pass all the health inspections,
Right.
it has to be clean. That's very
the key
important.
point,
It's very
yes.
important. This is a big shift. Like, what's the broader meaning behind this, though?
Well, it's seen as a cultural turning point that this isn't just about tattoos, it's about accepting generational change. And younger Koreans view tattoos as self-expression, style, and even beauty, not as symbols of crime or rebellion. And there's also an international angle. Tattoos connect with K-beauty and the global Korean wave. Many K-pop idols, actors, and athletes and SJ have tattoos. And now the industry can more openly align with international standards. And some experts even see potential for Korean tattoo art to become part of the country's cultural exports alongside the cosmetic and fashion.
So there's this thing called like the tattoo awards. Some of the world's best tattoo artists. There's one in New York City. His wait list is like 2 years or something like that. Like he's also famous, but Koreans are winning many tattoo awards. There are some of the most talented tattoo artists in Korea, but the irony of that is that they were all doing this illegally. It was kind of like it's one of those things where like they just turned a blind eye. And so everyone's like, well, if we're gonna turn a blind eye, then just make it legal.
Yes.
So that's exactly what happened after all these decades. How are people reacting to all this?
Well, many in the public, especially young people and tattoo artists, are welcoming the law. It gives legitimacy to what has already been a booming underground industry. And the Korea Tattoo Artists Association issued a statement saying, "We have finally become proud professional workers. We now promise the public that with pride in our profession, we'll provide safer, higher quality services and help K-Tattoo reach the top in the world." And some legal experts say tattoo artists who were charged for practicing without a license should be cleared. And lawyers for a democratic society said South Korea has taken an important first step to stop punishing tattoo artists as unlicensed medical workers. And on the other side, the medical community has voiced opposition, arguing that since tattooing involves piercing the skin again, it should remain within the scope of licensed doctors. And they worry about an infection risk if not strictly controlled. So expect ongoing debate as the government rolls out detailed regulations.
Guys, but come on now. Even if you're going to voice opposition, like how many of you doctors are going to be doing tattoos? So if you're not going to be doing tattoos, then, I mean, you look at some of the other countries that don't have the same laws. Come on now.
Yeah, of course, challenges remain. Like health authorities should are now under pressure to design effective safety and hygiene systems so the public can feel confident. But a doctor's argument, they don't really make sense, I think.
John also makes a very good point. If you recognize it as a legitimate profession, you can tax the income. That's true because this was illegal, what they would do is all under the table.
Is it expensive?
Cash. If you want to get the good ones, yes. Now, the thing, I can't tell you if it's expensive because, so I went to a world famous tattoo artist.
Wow.
J Park.
J Park.
J Park. Who's that girl? Hyorin from Sistar.
Wow.
Jessie. They all got it from her. And I just got lettering. So,
but still, it was pretty expensive still.
No, it was
because
cheap.
It was one of the world famous tattooists.
No, she just kind of, she's like, what do you want? And I was like, I want this lettering. She's like, oh.
Okay, that's it.
So, usually I draw stuff. And I was like, but I got to, someone recommended, like someone who knew her gave me the number. I said, I'm, so-and-so's 동생. And I went and she was like, okay, usually I don't do this, but I'll do it. It was cheap. It was lettering. And
good job, SJ.
Now that it's legal, I can talk about it. So after decades of legal limbo, Korea's officially opening doors to tattoos again, from body art to cosmetic procedures. But with that comes new responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the message is tattoos are here to stay, but now Korea must ensure the industry grows safely, responsibly, and creatively. And who knows, maybe just as K-beauty conquered the world, K-tattooing might be next. Like K-fashion, K-beauty again.
Yes. No,
K-tattoo.
No, it's true.
You said already.
They're winning awards.
Yeah, they're winning the awards.
Some of the most famous tattoo artists in the world are Koreans, and they're here in Seoul. And so it's a given. Chris Rose, what about that massive dragon on your back?
Or the word 착하게 살자 on your back. SJ, be nice.
No, I don't have.
착하게
I
사세요.
don't have any of that stuff. I don't have any of that stuff. Anyways, Haeyoung, thank you so much. Today is the last day of the first season of.
But not my last day, right?
But not your last day, and she's coming back for her second season. So you can tune into our next weekend show to get more of Haeyoung's special issue task force. Haeyoung, thank you very much. Great job in your first season, although you came in the middle.
Yeah.
You were a great addition. Great addition.
Thank you.
Great addition. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
And sending her out of the studio, let's take a listen to a song from Jeokjae with Tattoo.